Audio check. Good. Waiting for people to come in. Oh, says we got 5 people watching.
Before you sign on a mortgage.
Wow.
At the bank, check out all your options.
Check it on my phone. All right, if you guys are here, type you're here in the chat. Relax. I don't know what you mean by that. Hi, what's up? All right, everything working? You guys can see and hear everything good? Let me know. And then we'll get started. All right. I think there's a pretty big delay. Oh, let me see on my phone where it's at. Oh, no, delay's not bad. All right, so the plan for this live stream while we're waiting for people to come in is I'm going to talk about the videos that are coming out this month. Then we're going to be talking about some projects I'm working on, also trying to get your feedback on what you guys want to see next in terms of projects. And then I'm going to be answering any questions you guys have. I'm going to lift this because this is a little bit. All right, we got 11 people. I'm going to wait till we get 15 people and then I'll get started. 12. But how's your guys' day going? Just trying to kill time till people come in. Maybe I should have started this 10 minutes ago so that way we start at 12. Oh well. Erin, what's up? We're at 13. 2 more and I'll get started. I mean, it's only been 3 minutes since I went live, so. Black Panther. Cool name. So far we got Black Panther, Mohammed, Sai, and Samuel and Aaron. Not bad. Have you looked at VS Coda? What do you mean by that? Sai, I did. Sai, were you the one that sent me the video of? Which video did you send exactly? Because I got a couple people that sent videos on Twitter. Oh yeah, if you guys want to send videos or links, send it through my Twitter because for some reason you can't send links in the chat. So if you want to send me links or anything, or if you ever have any projects, tweet me at MK-SmartHouse. It's on the screen right there. Oops. Oh, oh, whoops, moved over a little bit. Gonna fix that real quickly. Apologize for that. Nope, not the frame. Yikes. All right, that's better. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, we got 22 people in. Fantastic. Switzerland, what's up? Q&A. Sure. This is how usually these live streams go is first I talk about the projects I'm working on, the videos that are coming out this month, and then I answer any questions you guys have regarding anything. but usually it's smart home related. Will you be making a tutorial on analog temperature sensors? If you mean through the ESP8266, then yes, I will be. We'll talk about that when it comes to projects. Um, Hello, what's up? A video about my room using Blink and Alexa. Yes, I did. It was a pretty good video. I liked it. Visual Studio Code. Oh, Aaron, what Visual Studio Code? What did you send? I don't remember. Can you explain HSB type and auto update? Oh, Eskel, are you talking about the LED strip? The from the video that I posted? When it comes to for auto update it's easy. I can explain it to you now. So auto update, what it does is it requires two-way communication. So if you send an MQTT command, it expects one back, and so that's how the item changes in OpenHAB. So even you don't even have to actually send a command. As long as OpenHAB receives a command, that's what changes the state of the item in OpenHAB. Unless if it was only one-way communication, then OpenHAB would control the state of the object. So when you send a command, the picture will automatically update because it'll assume the device already changed. Hope that makes sense. Let's see. All right. Well, we got 28 people, so I guess I'll get started. So the first order of business is videos this month. So the videos that I'm planning, next week we have a video. It's something a little bit different than what we normally do or cover on this channel. A company reached out to me with a cool product that I think you guys are gonna like. It's definitely a smart related. And then next after that, we're gonna be installing Home Assistant. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to install Home Assistant on a server. We're gonna be using a Raspberry Pi. And then, yeah, so we're gonna be doing the video next week, which is smart related. Then we have Home Assistant. We're gonna be installing Home Assistant, showing you how to get it set up. Because I don't know, I've kind of been liking Home Assistant, how it's so much easier than OpenHAB, because in OpenHAB you have to modify configuration files and all that, while in Home Assistant it's all modified through the web, so you don't need to mess around with files. You just have one big file. I don't know, I kind of like that. It's all down to personal preference, honestly. They're both good, and eventually I'll make a video comparing both of them, because that's one of the biggest questions, is you guys like knowing which one is better, or which one should I be using, stuff like that. So maybe in a couple months time, give me with Home Assistant and I'll make a video comparing them. And then after Home Assistant, we're going to be working on this device right here. I mentioned it in my previous live streams, but basically what this device is you plug it into the wall and then you can plug another device in. But the biggest advantage of this device is that it's waterproof. So I'm going to be using this for Christmas lights around the house. That's the main reason why I made this device, is because I wanted something that I can control things outside, because when it comes to inside, there's many different options. But when it comes to outside, there's not too many. And so also there's a device in here that you guys always wanted to see a video on. So we'll be covering it. And that's for this month. And this device will kind of roll into next month, and we'll talk about what's going on next month in next month's live stream. All right. How about smart coffee maker? Do you got a recommendation? I mean, I don't drink coffee. I'm just not that a coffee person, so I don't really know too much about coffee makers, and I don't know the smart one, nor do I have a recommendation. All right, so how would I use rules to change the color of my LED strips? For instance, with a scene, when I press the button, turn off roof light, and set RGB to red. Watch my LED strip notifications video. I show you exactly how to do that. We show that when a door opens, change the color to blue for a second, or even permanently. It's all covered in that video. Can you control your RGB LED strip with Alexa? Yes, I can. If you guys have an Amazon Echo, you should mute it unless you have headphones on. So I can do, Alexa, Set desk LED strip to blue. I don't know. Could you guys tell in the video that the LED strip changed to blue? Maybe you could. Hold on, I'm watching it back. Yeah, you can tell if you saw the reflection from my sweatshirt. And you can change to whatever color you want, but I just said blue. Is Home Assistant open source project? Yes, it is. I believe Home Assistant is open source. I mean, there's plenty of people in the chat that I'm guessing have used Home Assistant. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But the plug is not waterproof, or is it? Yes, it is. This plug is rated at, I forget what it's rated at, but it's an outdoor rated plug. There's a little sticker and stuff on here that says it's outdoor rated. And also, in terms of outdoor stuff, we're also going to be using, I mean, you can go ahead and use this thing inside as well. There's not a problem with that, but I just think it's better for outside, but it's both. But I'm also going to be making one so you can have 3 prongs at the end. So you can plug in 3 devices and control. It'll basically replace, you basically replace this plug at the end with this one, so that way you can plug in 3 things into here. But that's all coming soon. Alright. Have you tried PIR sensor to create a cheap motion sensor for OpenHab? That's what I wanted to ask you guys, what you wanted to see next. I know you guys want to see the light switch. That's a given. Everybody wants to see like a cheap light switch that you can make from ESP8266. Also a dimming one. The dimming one will take me some time to make, but I can make like a cheap light switch. Put that together. Maybe in 2 or 3 months I'll make a video on it. But I'll ask you later on in the video or live stream when Home Assistant is open source. Yep, so Home Assistant is open source. So is OpenHab, so they're both open source and you can use either one. Are these LEDs the Xiaomi ones or the custom RGB with an ESP? These LED strips are the custom one. They're right here. It's basically this same exact thing, except it's behind my monitors. So it is the custom one. I like my custom one better than the Xiaomi one, just because you can have the different effects controlled from OpenHab. You can control it with Alexa better, and it's kind of integrated. But I gotta mute mine. It's integrated better with OpenHab because it's all MQTT based, while the Xiaomi one, I don't know what protocol it uses. So, and sometimes the connection between the Xiaomi and the OpenHab, it's a little bit sketchy. Like it'll work, but sometimes it freezes up for a second. But that's that. All right. Now we got to the point where if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them. Anything. You should fiddle around with addressable RGB LEDs. I should. I think, was it you that commented on my last video to mess around with the RGBs? I think it was. But yeah, I'll probably be doing that in the future. I'll ask you guys which one. Is it possible to install 2 OpenHab servers on one single Raspberry Pi? Is it possible to install 2 OpenHab servers? I'm thinking. Let's see. I don't think so because I'm not sure. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say no, but I have no clue. Can we use OpenHab for business? Yes, you can. You can use OpenHab for business. If you Google OpenHab for business or commercial use, you'll go to the OpenHab forum and it'll be a whole thread on like them arguing, and like even Kai came in. He said Kai is the person who's like head up in OpenHab, and he's one of the main leaders of OpenHab. And he said that, yeah, you can. It's just not the best choice, but you totally can. I mean, if it fits your business and it works for you, then yes, you can use it for business. I I have smart things now. I have a Pi 3 sitting here. Should I use OpenHAB or Home Assistant? To answer that question, OpenHAB or Home Assistant, how good are you with Linux and Linux commands? Because if you're, real quickly, how's the volume? Is it like too loud? Um, but the easiest answer I can give for OpenHAB versus Home Assistant is how good are you in Linux and how good are you in troubleshooting? Because with OpenHAB, there's a lot of like editing the things file, rules file, items file, while in Home Assistant, it's you just have to modify the configuration.yaml file, which you can do from a web browser. Matt, are you still thinking of showing your media center? P.S. I think you should stay with OpenHAB. I mean, Aaron, I'm going to be doing both OpenHAB and Home Assistant. So I'm going to be showing videos. For example, this guy right here, I'm going to show you how to connect it to OpenHAB and Home Assistant. So both of them. So it's not like I'm switching to anyone. I mean, I'm leaving my house at OpenHAB, but I'm working on another house, which is a future project where we're going to be we're going to start from the ground up and making that whole house smart. So that one we're going to be doing Home Assistant. But anything that I show on my channel will be both OpenHAB and Home Assistant because I want to cover both worlds because I know there's people in OpenHAB and in Home Assistant. So I want to treat everybody evenly. Volume is okay, thank you. Is theoretically should be possible to install 2 instances, but it will be difficult. Yeah, I agree with how do you say your name? FZA Kfel? I don't know. Sai. Also, if you look closely in my video, when I change the colors, the ESP changes the color smoothly. Okay. I think the best way to find out what system is try out both and then decide for yourself. Yeah, he's totally right. This is FZA. I'm just going to call you FZA. FZA. He says he's totally right. You should try out both and see which one you like better. For the smart switch control, do you think an Amazon Dash button is a good solution? I don't think the Amazon Dash is a good solution because the protocol, I think it's going to be a little bit flaky because the way that it works with the Amazon Dash okay. So the way the Amazon Dash works is it just comes onto your network periodic, like for 1 second and then disappears. So we can't tap into the actual protocol the Amazon Dash uses. The way that OpenHAB uses it, I believe, is it just detects if the Amazon Dash came onto your network and then disappeared. So I don't think it's a reliable solution. While if you had like an actual switch, you can send commands two-way using my firmware v2, for example. And so you can see it directly sends a command to your OpenHAB server saying, hey, the switch is on and I'm turning on the light. While the Amazon Dash is just detects if it came on the network. Are you still thinking of showing your media center? OpenHAB rules. What do you mean by media center OpenHAB rules? I'm confused. My media center. Aaron, can you be more specific? Can you give me like an example of what was in the rules file or something? Lance, have not used Linux. However, I was around when DOS was around. Is it close to DOS? I do troubleshooting for a living on HVAC. I can follow charts, flow charts, etc. I mean, I have plenty of videos on OpenHAB, so I'm talking to Lance. Lance, you could, honestly, it's personal preference. I mean, I have plenty of videos on OpenHAB, so that could be useful, where I directly tell you exactly what to do, commands. In my earlier videos, I would say where even a space would go. So it's pretty easy. I'd recommend you do the same because it looks professional and is pleasing to the eyes. Sai, what are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about your own stuff. Okay. All right. All right, so we've been live streaming for 20 minutes. It's time for our first sponsor spot. And so, do you guys make custom projects and PCBs and stuff? Recently, I've been using PCBWAY. So I got some PCBs right here. I got more right here. So PCBWAY is fantastic, and all of those PCBs that I just showed, I personally bought off PCBWAY. They sent it in a nice box. I kind of crushed it, but they send it in a nice box. Everything is fantastic. The ordering process on their website is absolutely easy. You just do your dimensions, all the specifications you want for your PCBs, and then upload the Gerber file. If you guys want to check out PCBWay, I have 2 links in the description. One of them is to get $5 off your first order, and they also have a promotion right now for. They had one for Halloween, and they're also having one for December for Christmas. So guys, check it out in the links below. They have PCB prototyping, PCB assembly, SMD stencil, and a bunch of other things. They've been around. They've been in business for a long time, and they know exactly what they're doing, and they have pretty competitive pricing. So check it out. Links in the below. They're in the description of this live stream. Can Home Assistant be installed on OpenHabian? I believe it should. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, first of all, because they have HAS.io, which is like a pre-built image that Home Assistant has, where you just put it onto a SD card and slide it in, and it's automatically set up. So it's a really simple. What I personally have is I have over here, I have 2 Raspberry Pis. One of them is running OpenHab, and the other is running Home Assistant. So I think, plus Raspberry Pis are cheap. They're $35. So I think it's better to just spend the money to get another Raspberry Pi rather than mess around, try to complicate your life and getting both on one Raspberry Pi. And if you guys want to check out Raspberry Pis, the exact one that I use, you can go to one of my previous videos, and in the description I show exactly which Raspberry Pi I use. Let's see. I was talking about the LED strip color change transitions. Okay. Aaron says, lol, I was just saying OpenHab rules. Oh, Matt, back at the start when you first start, you showed 2 Raspberry Pi IP, one as your OpenHab and the other one as a media center. Oh, okay. So since then I've changed that. I no longer use another Raspberry Pi as a media center because it just wasn't powerful enough. So instead I built a whole server from the ground up, and it runs FreeNAS, and from FreeNAS I installed Plex on there, and I installed OwnCloud. I don't remember what cloud service I used, but I installed that on there. So basically it's a full built server because the Raspberry Pi just wasn't powerful enough, especially if I have a lot of stuff on Plex. Is there a way you know how to use the LED strip as a screen emulation, like a Dream screen, and connect it to OpenHab? I think I've seen a video somewhere, but I'm not exactly too sure. Hi Matt, what's up? APC999, bunch of exclamation marks. Are you using both OpenHab and HAS.io? Says AKKR153. Yes I am. So because I have a YouTube channel, I have to test out both of them. So I have everything running off my primary OpenHabian server. So I have that there. And then I have another server for HAS.io. But I have the main OpenHab server as the MQTT server. And then from the HAS.io, I told it that the main MQTT server is running on the OpenHab server. So I put its IP address instead of its local host. So that way I don't have 2 MQTT servers, I only have 1, and that's on the OpenHab server. Unable to load firmware on ESP12E. As per your recommendation, getting the following errors in Arduino INO. This was by Cool Fahad 123. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. What device are you using? Like, are you using one of mine? If you're are you using one of my devices like the blinds, LED strip, or anything like that? Because if you do, then you need firmware version 2, and then it's a lot simpler now. You just need Pi Flasher, and it flashes it. So you don't even need to mess around with the Arduino IDE. Which services will you recommend which you can use for business of IoT home solutions? Um, this was by Malar. I'm guessing that's your name. Which services you recommend which you can use for business of IoT home solutions? If it's a one-time setup, when you say business, do you mean, and like services, do you mean like one of my devices, or do you mean like ones that you can buy off the market? Because you could essentially use all of my devices for business. You just have to set it up for them the first time, and then that's it. They never have to touch it again. For example, in theory, what you could do is set up an open app server for them. And if you wanted to, say, for example, use my blinds controls, you just set it up in their rules file, their MQTT server, and then just set it and forget it. And then they just use it all from their phone through the open app stuff. So essentially, you could use my whole system for business. But then if they ever wanted to change anything, they would have to call you because it's not as easy for them to access. FCA says, have you ever tried out Node-RED? It works great as automation engine together in Home Assistant. It's all available. I have not messed around with Node-RED. I have not gotten a chance. I spend most of my time making like MQTT devices because that's what I love to do. I love making devices like this, for example, or like LED strips that I have right here. That's what I like doing. I don't mess around with like Node-RED and other stuff like that. Tried uploading on ESP201, got success, but unable to run. Okay. Wait, are you the same person that asked up here? Unable to load firmware. What device are you trying to make? Cool Fahad 123. AKA Karin 153 says, for main smart home system, what is better in your opinion? HAS.io or OpenHAB? They're both good. Honestly, they're both good. I just have more experience in OpenHAB. That's what I chose first. I'm going to say it again, but the main reason I chose OpenHAB in the beginning was because they had a full ecosystem before Home Assistant did. Because OpenHAB has been around longer, I think, than Home Assistant. So they already had their own app for iOS and Android. And they also had a bigger community at the time. But honestly, at this point in time, HAS.io and OpenHAB, they're both good. HAS.io I think is just easier to work with, but they're both good. So for a main home system, either one you choose will be good. Check if USB serial adapter is recognized, drivers installed, and ESP is in flash mode. Also try restarting the Arduino IDE or reconnecting the device. That's good advice, FCA. Thanks, Matt. You are awesome. You're welcome. OpenHAB and I can't get mobile apps showing the switches I created on browser. They show up whether local or remote. This was by Mandeep. So what is your current setup? Do you have a sitemap file, or did you just set it up through basic UI? Because if you set it up through hold on, OpenHAB and I can't get the mobile showing the switches I created on browser and they show up. Okay, so I'm guessing actually you followed my videos. In that case, did you set up the mobile app correctly? Do you have my OpenHAB set up? Let's see. What have you tried to troubleshoot, actually? Yeah, let's answer that. What have you tried to troubleshoot, Mandy? Trying to make a door sensor. Okay, well, in that case, if you're making a door sensor, then watch my firmware v2 video on the door sensor and follow that one exactly. And if you're, yeah, try following my door sensor video and using firmware v2. And then upload it using the Pi Flasher, because with the Pi Flasher, it's easier to set up the device because all you have to do is plug it into the computer and then hit flash. While in the Arduino IDE, you have to make sure you have the right libraries, and the right settings for the device. So just try my firmware version 2. It's on my channel. Matt, you should look up VS Code. I just started it and it should save time. All right, let's look up what VS Code is. Wait, when you mean VS Code, do you mean Visual Studio Code where like you can edit the items file and the rules file from Visual Studio? Because if so, I mean, I memorized the format for how OpenHAB should work, so I don't really need it. Mandeep sitemap, yeah. Oh, save time in OpenHAB config file. I mean, it's not that it really saves time because I know the format and I know exactly how to write it. And I give you guys easy copy and paste blocks. So I think it's just an unnecessary step, Aaron. I mean, unless you spend all your time in the configuration files, then I guess you could. I mean, if you make a bunch of modifications, a Visual Studio Code would work. But I mean, that's more steps added. While in Home Assistant, you just have to edit the configuration.yaml and it's all nicely formatted. And Home Assistant has a built-in compiler, so it's less steps. So at this point, I mean, you can kind of see why I'm swaying towards Home Assistant. But still, if you know the format of the configuration files, then you just need to type it in Nano. I know some of you hate Nano, but it's just how it is. Sitemap, yes. Okay, so if you're following my videos, you did the sitemap. Did you forward it in basic UI? Did you set that your main sitemap is home.sitemap? Hi Matt, OpenHabian on Raspberry Pi or Unraid, which is good. I recommend separating your your OpenHabian server from anything possible. I like this because while you're editing on your Unraid server, you're modifying some stuff. I think the more separate devices, the better because you have more redundancy. So say your Unraid server, you're using it and you're using bandwidth from it, or even you turn off your Unraid server, then your home automation server is still up because the amount of times that you're going to be modifying your home automation server is not as much because it's unless you're like us and we constantly adding more devices, but still I recommend separating your home automation server from anything possible. So in that case, I recommend on a Raspberry Pi. Okay, cool. Yeah, Aaron. I mean, hey, for you, if you like using Visual Studio, I think it's just personally an unnecessary step because you can do everything in Nano. But if you like it and it's easier for you to read, then go ahead, go for it. I mean, I just haven't messed around. Hey Matt, is there any way to distinguish between coming and leaving home by using a door sensor? Using a door sensor. Just a door sensor? I don't think so because you can't tell if the person, I mean, you can't really know because the amount of times that the door opens and closes, I mean, for us, we have a bunch of people in this house, so like it would be hard to track who comes in and out. The way that I would for tracking who's in is using an RFID device and having whoever comes in scan an RFID. So that way you know, like say Matt comes in and I scan my RFID, then you know that somebody's at home. And then when I leave, also scan the RFID. Or you could use Bluetooth and like Bluetooth low energy, detect if that's in the house. But with that, you would need more and more devices. Another issue I ran into using OpenHabian, following your guide for OpenHab to take voice commands or using HomeKit, I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, HomeKit on OpenHabian is a little bit, I've heard some people are having problems. I mean, for me it works fine. Yeah, I can control stuff using the Home app or Siri. So I don't know, what do you mean you couldn't get it to work? Like the device, can you get it to show up in the HomeKit app is my question. All right. While we're waiting for more questions, I'm going to list you guys some device ideas that I have, and if you have any more device ideas, let me know. The first device idea I had was a multi-sensor room device. So it would be a device that has a motion sensor in it, has a temperature sensor, a humidity sensor, maybe even a light sensor, so a bunch of different sensors, and you can put one in each room. I don't know if it would be hardwired or battery powered. A single relay light switch, so just a basic light switch, you press the button, the relay turns off, you press it again, the relay turns off, on, whatever the opposite of what I said. and also so you can control it through MQTT on your phone. And then we'll be making more and more complex ones, like ones with dimmers, ones with motion sensors, and so on. And then a 4-button remote device. So you have just a little device that's MQTT based, and you have 4 buttons, so you can tell it can modify so whatever the 4 buttons do. So you can make your blinds close, turn on your LED strip, turn on a relay or the power strip, like this guy right here, and then a security panel. So this was sort of what you were talking about with seeing who's at home. So a security panel that has a keypad, has an RFID sensor, has maybe a speaker or like an alarm, something like that. I think that'd be a cool project. And then I also have a garage door control. So those of you that don't have the Chamberlain garage doors like I have at my house, you can simply wire this into your standard garage door and then you can control it from MQTT. These are all MQTT devices. What other ideas you guys have, let me know. Oh, and also, I forgot to add, an addressable LED strip device. I'll add it right now. All right. I'll try RFID. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I love the principle of RFID. I think it's really cool. Do I have any? I don't know if I have any RFID cards here. Yep, I have some right here. Nope, never mind, that's not it. I might have one actually in this drawer. Yep. See, RFID is pretty cool because you can either use like little chips like this, which has an RFID chip in there, or you can have like credit card size um, uh, cards. I was missing the device, but you can like scan in whenever you come home, and it could even like unlock a door, set a mood for you. The possibilities are endless. OpenHAB pairing showed up for OpenHAB in HomeKit. All right, well, so if OpenHAB pairing showed up, then are the devices not showing up in your HomeKit app? So basically, Mandeep, can you see OpenHAB in your HomeKit app? And if so, then are the devices just not showing up? And do you have the tags in your items file? Oh, and then also another device idea was a water sensor for outside so you can see how wet the ground is. And then from there, you can turn on your sprinkler systems. I have so many ideas. Those were just a few. The easiest way to track if people are home is to scan if their phones are connected to Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's also a good idea. See if their phones are connected. ESP12E doesn't go into boot mode. Do you have it switched out of program mode? Like, did you disconnect the jumper from GPIO 0 and then move it to 3.3 volts? Because when I was developing my devices, the biggest problem I had was, just like you, it wouldn't go into boot mode. And so what I found is sometimes because when you put it into program mode, you jump the pin from GPIO 0 to ground. So to put it to run mode, I found that if you put GPIO 0 to VCC or 3.3 volts, then it boots up. So try that. I'm experimenting with room presence trackers. Maybe you can give some infrared thermal detectors like an Omron D6T a try. The thing is, a motion sensor cannot tell if a person is still in the room. Whoa, and infrared thermal detectors. That's pretty cool. Actually, I want to check these out. Omron D6T. Let's see how this looks. It's loading. OBS slows down. Oh, they're not too expensive. Are the FZA, have you tried making these work? Are they Arduino compatible? Do you know? Are they analog? Are they digital? How do these work? Do you have any experience with them? Because I'd love to know how that is. Okay, I posted a video but didn't get a response. Servo and my blinds continues to hum after it hits its final position. Yeah, no, that's normal if it hums because that means you have a powerful power adapter, so that's fine. If it hums, that's fine. It should only hum for like a second or two. Yeah, Fresh City, it's normal if it hums because that means it's still trying to go, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. And if the hum does bother you, then you should change to slow mode. GPIO 15, GPIO 0 is ground, GPIO 2 is pulled up. Yeah, change GPIO 0 to 3.3 volts, and you should be good. Cool Fahad. Aaron says, washing machine, state machine. Huh, that's a good idea, except I don't know how I would do that. Aaron, do you have any ideas? Yeah, cool Fahad. When you're programming, yes, GPIO 0 should go to ground, but when you're trying to boot, it goes to 3.3 volts. All right, guys, we hit another 20 minutes. Time for another ad spot. So, um, let's do actually SmartHouse Society. All right, so are you guys smart home enthusiasts like me? If you are, check out smarthousesociety.com for cool clothing like this, where on the front it says SmartHouse Society, and then on the back it says Elite Member. The amount of people that come up to me and they're like, hey, what are you an Elite Member for? I'm like, SmartHouse Society. And they're like, what's that? So I think it's pretty cool. And also you can show that you love smart homes. I mean, it's got the little Wi-Fi symbol right here. It has a power button right here. And we have a bunch of different things for everybody. So if you like polos for like golfing or even church or whatever you go to, the polos are there. You have hoodies like this, t-shirts, a bunch of different colors of everything. We have hats, snapbacks. We have everything, and it's all SmartHouse Society branded. And you have a promo code on the screen right here. Use the promo code ELITE. You can get 15% off your order. And so if you found any of the information that I've given you, if I've helped you in any problems or any electronics related, if you ever wanted to support me, you can either donate on my website, but the biggest one is if you buy a hoodie like this. Not only that, but I want to see more people in these because I want to expand the Smart House Society. So check it out, smarthousesociety.com. The prices of the hoodies are on the website. Okay, all right, let's see here. Okay, so wall programming, okay. Used USB to USB TTL for programming. That shouldn't affect it. You should be good. I don't think you got what I meant. It's definitely not right after. This is after it hits its final position. Yeah. So when it hits its final position, it should stay there for a couple seconds because it waits to disconnect. The humming is fine. I mean, it's normal. Unless you don't like it, then again, change to slow mode. Can I send a link, Matt? Yeah, you can send a link. Actually, I'll pull up my Twitter right now, just so while I'm waiting for you guys. Twitter. I think the D6T works with some bus protocol. I think I2C are similar. I wanted to try them, but I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know they had infrared like devices. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be a really cool device. Are they available in the UK? Yes. The hoodies and everything on SmartHouse Society is worldwide. Or Matt, you can look at the OpenHab site. Wait, what am I looking at, Aaron? I forgot. Oh, washing machine, state machine. It's loading. Okay, I'll take a look at this later, but thank you, Aaron, for the washing machine, state machine. I'll take a look. Matt, I am highly impressed with your efforts and organization of your videos. Thank you so much for so much. Love from India. You are awesome. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Did you guys tweet me anything? Checking my notifications. Oh, what did you guys think of the LED strip effects in my last video? I think they were pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how the effects turned out. My favorite one, I think I mentioned in the video, it's the warm one, especially because it's cold now. Let's see. All right, Aaron, I got your tweet, so I'll take a look at it. But also, I like the rainbow effect. I like the fade effect, how it fades through the different colors. It's pretty cool. The amount of things that you can do with RGB is really cool. Those are the effects that I thought of. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for the effects. Actually, I forgot to check. Yeah, okay, I'll check it later. LED looked good, Matt. Thank you, Aaron. Aaron has like always has some nice things to say in comments and emails and stuff. Thank you so much, Aaron. You're one of my biggest supporters. I really appreciate it. All right. Is there a problem with my ESP12E? What's your recommendation? Which ESP should I use if I'm trying to use it for home appliances like fan light and AC? Tried to upload your V2, same error, ESP fails. Okay. Did you do the jumper from GPIO 0 to 3.3 volts? That's like the biggest thing. And you need to make sure that it's at 3.3 volts because that's how it jumps. That's how it goes into run mode. Okay, you say yes. I would check your TX. Is your TTL see? I personally I have not had good luck with TTL converters. It's just I used a couple of them. They weren't really stable when it comes to ESPs. I find that using an Arduino is the best. These are the best because I think these are the most robust because they're meant for uploading. So if you just put the jumper between reset and ground, they become into very, very good converters, serial converters. I like the way that they are. My Twitter is on this screen. It's at MK-SmartHouse. But yeah, like I said, I like using the Arduinos either if it's a Mega or even a normal one like this, which you can pick up on my site. They're really cheap, especially if you use the promo code on the screen, V2, which ends at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So in about 2 hours, that coupon code expires. So you can get 10% off the jumpers and the Arduino, as well as anything else on the site. I don't think there's something wrong with your ESP unless you maybe short-circuited it, which is possible, but it's highly unlikely. You could try, or maybe you have a dead one. Maybe, I mean, have you used it before, or is it just brand new? And then sometimes, what I found is if you just disconnect everything and connect it again, it sometimes magically works. And make sure you have TX to RX. I mean, TX to TX and RX to RX. And if TX to TX and RX to RX doesn't work, then try swapping them. Try swapping RX to TX and TX to RX, if that makes sense. Because sometimes the serial converters, the specialized ones, they sometimes have different connections than like an Arduino. So try that out. What do you think of Home Assistant? What's your opinion between OpenHAB and Home Assistant? I mentioned this a couple times already in this live stream, but if you are comfortable with, let's see here. If you're comfortable with Linux and stuff, then go with OpenHAB. If you're less comfortable with Linux, then go with Home Assistant. And also Home Assistant is a lot easier to use because you just have one configuration file, which is the configuration.yaml. While in OpenHAB, you have 3 different files. You have your sitemap file, you have your items file, and your rules file. I mean, then again, in Home Assistant for your rules, you have another file. I haven't actually played around with rules in OpenHAB, Home Assistant. But I mean, it's all personal preference. They're both free to download, so why not try them both out and see what you like. Make a list of what you want from your automation server, and write it down and see If both of them accomplish what you want, and then if they do, then download both and set it up both. Yes, it is a little bit time, but your home automation server is the brains of your home. So make sure you like the way that it works and you can get it set up. Some sites says Arduino communicates and gives 5-volt TX and RX. I mean, I'm a website and I say to also use an Arduino, so I think they're fine. I mean, I connect it to 3.3 right here, and I've been using it. Geez, how many years have I been using ESPs and Arduinos? At least 2 or 3. So, I mean, I recommend an Arduino personally. I've used the converters and it just doesn't work. Yeah, so I mean, if you have an Arduino on hand, try using the Arduino. And then connect it the way that I show in my videos. So TX to TX, RX to RX, ground to ground, 3.3 volts to 3.3 volts, unless you have a converter, a 5 volt to 3.3 converter like on my PCBs, then you connect it to 5 volts, but other than that, you connect it to 3.3. Thanks for the answer. No problem. Can you tell us more about your IP cameras? I sure can. I just have one more ad spot that I have to do, and that is for my personal website. So, guys, MK-SmartHouse.com/shop is another way you can support my channel. If you find any of my guides helpful, then go to MK-SmartHouse.com/shop. That is like the biggest help. That's how I do what I do. That's the only reason that I'm still here is because of your orders from MK-SmartHouse.com/shop. That's what's been supporting all the projects, and that's what's given us the resources to do what we do on this channel. So if you want an Arduino, you can pick them up. I listed them, I think, last week. So pick them up. They're pretty cheap, cheaper than Amazon. If you want an LED strip that now does effects and stuff, you can also pick it up on the website. But the biggest selling product is the blinds controls. If you guys want more of those, this is your last chance. If you want to buy a bunch of blinds controls and for cheap than normal, then use promo code V2. It expires in 2 hours. So you only have 2 hours to place an order and get 10% off your entire order. I have no clue when 10% is coming back. It could be in like a bunch of months, maybe like 6, probably 6 months, because we had the V2s going on for like 3 months. So yeah, we're probably not going to do 10% for another 6 months. So if you guys want to get a discount on anything on the website, this is your last chance. You have 2 hours left, and use promo code V2 at mksmarthouse.com/shop. All right, so Aaron was asking about the IP cameras. So there's not much that I can show because they're all connected, but I have one right here. This guy right here. I forget which video I have linked to the entire system, but this is one of the IP cameras that I have. It's from ESCAM. It's the ESCAM PNK805. It is a 8 channel device, so you can have 8 IP cameras. I'll show you guys this. I think I'm going to show you guys the whole IP camera setup in January because I still have to finish setting it up and everything. But basically up here I have a monitor, and all there I can see all 8 cameras, well 7 because this one's not connected, and that's running RPiServe. I forget what the link to their website is, but you can see all the cameras. That connects through RTSP, which connects to the main NVR, which is downstairs in the server section of my house, so it's connected to the main switch. And then from there I have routed the cables throughout the house to all the different IP cameras. And then from there, I'm also going to make it so we can detect motion and get notifications on our phone. Hopefully see the cameras from our phone. I'm not sure how well that'll go because I don't know if the protocols will work. Then eventually see the cameras from the mounted wall devices. By the way, I have links in the description here if you want to check out the wall mounts and be the first ones to be notified when they come online. And those are Amazon devices, so we can see them from HabPanel and stuff. Yeah, let me know if there's anything I missed, Aaron. But basically, they're just power over Ethernet. You just connect one Ethernet cable from the camera to the main NVR. Following you now, although I've been watching you for ages. Thank you, APC99 or 9999. Which ESP are you using for home automation, 12E or something other? I've been using the 12Es for the longest time now. I've always stuck with 12Es. I know they've released new ones like the Fs, and I think they have a G model now. I'm not sure. But I've been using 12Es. Those I found to be very reliable. I used the ones at one point, but they didn't have enough GPI opens. Can you use Home Assistant on Windows? I run my OpenHAB server on Windows, but I was looking to compare with Home Assistant. I have never run OpenHAB or Home Assistant on Windows, so I can't help you there. I don't know. Are your cameras somehow connected to OpenHAB, or is it a completely different system? As of right now, they're not connected to OpenHAB yet, but I am looking into a way to connect them. I just haven't got a chance yet. Hopefully, that's the goal, that I can see them from OpenHAB. But right now, I use an app called XMI. It's called XMEYE. And so from there, I can see all the different cameras. So your So your IP cameras do go through Wi-Fi. No, they go through Ethernet. So they go through the network. They don't go through Wi-Fi. They're all directly hardwired into the network. So not Wi-Fi. When's the next time you will be live? I go live the first weekend of every month. So the next time I'll be live is the first weekend in December. Would your IP cameras work with Google Home or Amazon Echo Show? I've never used an Echo Show. Google Home Hub. I've never. Wait, what's a Google Home Hub? What is that? Are you just talking about the Home app or what? Looking up. Oh, it's a device like this. You're gonna be able to see the IP cameras hopefully through anything that can see a web browser. Check the Home Assistant docs. Okay. Home Assistant or OpenHAB on Raspberry Pi. Both of them are good. I personally have each one on a different Raspberry Pi. Why do you do that? Is it safer? It's not that it's safer necessarily. I mean, it is. Well, no. No, it's not necessarily that it's safer. It's just I only need one cable because on each camera you have a power plug and the Ethernet. But these cameras have power over Ethernet, which means that you can inject power into the Ethernet cable so that way you don't need to individually connect to power. So instead of having an outlet next to the camera, I just need to run one Ethernet cable from the basement all the way to the camera. So it's just one cable and no power necessary. It's all just through Ethernet, excuse me. And also, if you use Wi-Fi, it takes up bandwidth in your home. So it slows down your internet. From what I've heard. I have never experienced it, but from what I've heard, if you have it connected through Wi-Fi, which these cameras don't even have Wi-Fi, but if you did have it connected through Wi-Fi, then it would slow it down. Actually, I'm going to put a link to this exact cameras. Let me just find the link. Just if you're curious to know what these cameras are. All right, let's see. One second, let me just find them. There we go, security cameras. All right. I have put the link to the security cameras. Whoops. Actually, I forgot. I have put a link to the security cameras in the description of this live stream. So if you guys wanted to check them out, there they are. All right, do you guys have any more questions? This is the time to ask. Any more questions? If you guys don't have any more questions, then I think, oh, there we go. I'm new to Smart Home. Just found your site. I want to get the blinds kit. The promo code ends in 2 hours. Will it be over by the time I get home to order? Can you extend it for a few hours? Um, if you email me, I will extend the promo code for you. Yeah, if you email me, since you were in this live stream, if you email me, I will extend the promo code for you. Or even try the promo code later today and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, then email me and I'll send you it. But it most likely won't work and you have 2 hours. But email me. Which headphone is that? These are the Bose QC35s. So what do you think about sending me Amazon Fire 7 tablet with Alexa? I mean, if you guys want the tablets, I might be able to put them on my website and ship them out. I'll look into it. But Aaron, for you, for sure, we can work something out and I'll get one to you. How much bandwidth do the IP cameras take up? 900 kilobytes a second. I think, I don't know. I was throwing out a number because like when I don't know the exact bandwidth, but from what I saw when I had the NVR in my room, it kept on saying something 983 kilobytes a second or something like that. I'm not sure if that's a bandwidth or not. I'm not too familiar with bandwidth. I just know it takes up quite a bit of it. But, alright. Any more questions? Hey dude, big fan. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. That was Shoro Otun. I'm guessing that's her name is. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Alright. Any more questions? Because if not, we will end the live stream. Can I get an autograph? I mean, if you see me in person, which I don't know where you live, so that wouldn't really work. Which smart plugs or Wi-Fi switches do you prefer? Because I'm using Sonoff 4 channel now, but it frequently disconnects from the network. Let's see here. Smart plugs or Wi-Fi switches? Well, right now for Wi-Fi switches, I use the Belkin Wemo, but I do have a Sonoff, I think they're called T1s. Whatever the light switch that they have, the one with a single button on it. So the one with the single button on it, that's one I have. I haven't used it yet, so I can't recommend it. But we're probably going to be installing custom firmware on it and making it work. And then Wi-Fi smart plugs. This guy right here, which I'll show you a video on. The 2 videos ago, I did a video on the iClever light plug. That's a good plug. I really like it. I'm a big fan of those. We put custom firmware on it, and once we put the custom firmware, it's all through MQTT, and it's been very reliable. I'm very happy with those. So if you want smart plugs right now, then go back 2 videos to iClever smart plugs. Those were good. But we'll also be doing a video on the power strip. That's coming up next month, which those you have 3 outlets, and each one of them is individually controlled. But yeah. I mean, look into, if you have a Sonoff 4 channel now, look into getting custom firmware onto it, because custom firmware, if it's running MQTT, it's usually more stable than what Sonoff provides. Can you show a video on your server? Yeah, sure. Aaron, do you also want to see, yeah, the NAS server? Yeah, I'll show you guys the entire video on it, like everything that I have. on there, like the Plex, OwnCloud, what the hardware of it. You mentioned that you're going to create some kind of security panel. Are you going to add fingerprint scanner there? I could, except fingerprint scanners are pretty expensive. Like, I mean, this whole channel is about cheap home automation. So if I showed you guys how to use fingerprint scanners, that'd get kind of expensive. Like a fingerprint scanner, I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks just for a little scanner off AliExpress. What's the price on the cameras? When I bought the cameras, they were $350, which I think is a pretty good deal. For 8 IP cameras and an NVR, that's a pretty good deal. I've tried flashing Tasmota, but can't figure out how to use it. Alright, well, if you have a Sonoff 4 channel, you know, I might write it down. If you have a Sonoff 4 channel, I'll look into making my own custom firmware, because my custom firmware, I think that it's pretty simple to use. You don't have to mess around with any of the settings. You just flash it to the device, type in your topic, and you're good to go. So I like my firmware. I'm a personal fan of it. So Sonoff 4 channel. I'll look into getting one of those. Okay, will the LED strip firmware work on H01 controller? It uses ESP. I don't know what an H801 is. Hold on. Hey man, how about an idea for AR for security? AI. The only way that I know is if you make your own, like, it's not really AI, but like you can do rules. So like you can say if the door opens, do this and this, like set the alarm off. But in terms of AI, what do you mean? Like, do you want like the security cameras to scan like facial recognition and stuff? Explain a little bit more by what you mean for AI. I know that means artificial intelligence, like, but like, what would you want it to do? I recently saw a USB fingerprint scanner for $30. Where did you see it? I mean, I checked fingerprint scanners like a year ago, so maybe the price has changed. Thanks for the info. Yeah, no problem. I know AI is artificial intelligence, but I meant like, what would you want it to do in the security system? How about LED to react to sound if you look at your E-light? There, got one there. Yeah, they do. They have the sound-based one. But the thing about the E-light is it uses the sound from your phone, not the sound from the actual E-light. So that's one of the trade-offs. Oh, okay. Well, if the H801 is a 5-channel, then no, my firmware wouldn't work. You can maybe modify my firmware to make it work, but my firmware is only for 3 channels, R, G, and B. So that wouldn't work. I bought a USB for about $30 with Windows. I don't know if you can make it. Oh no, if it's Windows based, then no. We would need a specific one that works with Arduino. Face and voice recognition. Yeah, but that sounds pretty complicated. My knowledge doesn't go that far into artificial intelligence. I'm more of like MQTT, ESP, more like make devices that AI would interact with. I'm not more in like AI like that can interact to you and help you on the daily with your home stuff. Home Assistant supports Microsoft Face Detect. That's an interesting point. I haven't dove into facial recognition and stuff like that. Okay. All right. Home Assistant supports Microsoft Face. Okay. All right. Matt, you think you can get it to work on your LED? I would like to work on Spotify on Chrome Stick. Oh, you mean like the whole sound thing, so it reacts to sound? I will look into it. I mean, I've made LEDs dance to music before. I think Kip K made a video on it. If you guys know who Kip K is, shout out to you. But I made light bars that reacted to sound. You would plug it in through like a headphone jack into whatever your device is, and it would react to the music. So maybe I'll make a Wi-Fi one of those. Yeah, I'll write that down. React to music. I couldn't find anything cheap for Arduino. You're right. Yeah, that's one of the downsides. Like, I really, yes, if you came on Asia, it really cheap for parts. But showing us controlling your air condition, where I live, we have separate devices, not centralized systems. Oh, so I'm guessing you have like window units in your windows and stuff, so like each one has to be individually controlled. I get that. Oh yeah, one project that I would like to do is like make my own Nest thermostat looking thing. So it would have like a touch screen on it. You can control the temperature, what you want it to set at, and stuff like that. Probably use a DHT22. I forget which one's the better one. Is it the 11 or 22? Nichols says, "Hi man, what's up? Can you integrate what is that? TensorFlow object detection? If I knew what that was, I don't know what that is. TensorFlow object. Or did you mean sensor? No, the S and the T key are too far apart. Oh, a TensorFlow object detection is that makes easy construct, train, and deploy object detection models. We found that this code-based vision needs. Oh, I know what you mean. Um, that sounds like a big project. Nest-like thermostat sounds great. See, I know that would be awesome. Dude, you're so genius. Where did you learn all of this? The same way you guys are learning right now. Except you guys have it easier because you have me, one place to go to like get all this information. But personally, I found all the information online. I'm all self-taught. So like YouTube videos, websites, forums, everything I taught myself. So like I researched the ESP, looked at all of its schematics, all of its APIs, everything. I found as much information as I possibly can, and then I developed my own stuff. Yes, they work with IR remote control. Thanks. Oh, IR. At one point I did make an IR device, but I don't know why it stopped working. It actually, yeah, it kind of reprogrammed itself, which is funny, and turned into a Wi-Fi jammer. And so, but anyway, beside the point. Yeah, I'll make an IR remote thingy. I'll show you guys how to make that in the future. I literally said that Banggood has cheap fingerprint readers for Arduino 3 times. You missed the message. They're like 15. You did? I thought you were saying it's like USB. I'll look into it. I'll put it on my list. I'll put it on my list. Fingerprint reader. There we go. I'll look into it. Thank you. I finally got the message. Alright, well, I better get to work then in finding all of this stuff and making all these devices. So, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. Again, if you want to support this channel so that way I can keep making these devices, go to mksmarthouse.com/shop. 10% again ends in less than 2 hours. If you want to pick up a nice hoodie like this, or even a t-shirt, a hat, then go to smarthousesociety.com. Use the promo code ELITE, get 15% off. And then thank you to our sponsor, PCBWAY.com. If you guys prototype your own devices like I do, check out PCBWAY.com. Get $5 off your order right here. They also have more promotions and free stuff. Check out their links. Again, thank you to PCBWAY for sponsoring this video or live stream. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy. Thank you for watching.